Tensions are flaring between Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Kyler removed the Cardinals from his social media accounts, and then a report leaked about his character. The Cardinals then opted to extend their head coach and GM until 2027, and now Kyler Murray wants his own contract extension. But I'm going to tell you why the Cardinals just made a huge mistake. Hello everyone, welcome back to Into Sports. I'm your host Evan. Before I talk Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, do me a big favor and click the subscribe button because, it would help me out a lot. Anyways, the Cardinals started 10-2 last season, but then they only finished 1-5 down the stretch. And that included an ugly playoff loss to the Rams. So then, a few weeks after the season ends, Chris Mortensen's sources inside the Cardinals organization say that Kyler Murray is a self-centered, immature finger pointer. Wow. But here's where they've got it all wrong. Aren't they pointing their finger at Kyler Murray by leaking this information? So first of all, this is hypocritical. And then the secret about finger pointing is when you point your finger at someone else, aren't you really pointing 3 fingers back at yourself? So what are the Cardinals hiding here? What blame do they deserve? Well, the reason for all the turmoil in Arizona is the way they finished the season, that 1-5 down the stretch. But the guy they just awarded a contract extension, Kliff Kingsbury, is notorious for falling off at the end of seasons. That was the case at Texas Tech. It's been the case in Arizona so far in the NFL. And you can see that in his win-loss record. Because Kliff Kingsbury is a guy that's known to have a different style of offense compared to the rest of the league, the air raid. But as we've seen, it seems as though other coaches have been able to figure it out as the season goes on. And great coaches don't get figured out. They actually get better as the season goes on. Bill Belichick sometimes struggles in September, but then he dominates in December. Sean Payton kind of experiments in September, first 2 or 3 weeks, but then he finds his formula in November. The great coaches get better as the year goes on, and they're at their best come playoff time. But Kliff Kingsbury has been just the opposite. So the Cardinals just extended the guy who has melted down at the end of the year for his entire career. And then they blame Kyler Murray because the Cardinals melted down at the end of the year. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, what do the Cardinals need to do with Kyler Murray? Well, they need to give him a contract extension. Wait. Wouldn't this be another Jared Goff or Carson Wentz type situation where they extend a guy early and then a few years later they try to get rid of him? Well, actually, no. Kyler Murray is just on a different level than those guys. Now, with Carson Wentz, he had one of the most unexplainable drop-offs we've ever seen from a quarterback. So, that's kind of an outlier situation. So let's just compare Kyler to Jared Goff. Well, Kyler is a lot closer to Patrick Mahomes than he is to Jared Goff. And that's why I'd be willing to give him the big bucks right here, right now, give him that contract extension. Because the Chiefs signed Patrick Mahomes early, and now it looks like a bargain. The Bills, they secured Josh Allen last offseason, and his price would have just gone up after the way he just played. And I bet the Rams wish they had extended Matt Stafford before the season, right when they traded for him. Because now he's going to be in that $45 million a year range. So for every Jared Goff or Carson Wentz, there's a Stafford or Mahomes. For every quarterback contract cautionary tale, there are several contract extensions that actually age very well, and the team gets value on that extension. And Kyler Murray is the type of talent that makes me think he's more of a Mahomes, he's more of a Stafford. And signing him right now, if you have to, would be a good idea. Because let's not get it twisted. Kyler Murray is a franchise quarterback. People are asking if he's the answer for Arizona, but let's remember, this is a guy that has been the MVP favorite deep into the year each of the last 2 seasons. Yeah, he is an elite athlete, but he's still a thrower first and foremost. And I don't think you can doubt whether or not a guy is a franchise quarterback when he turned a 3-13 team into a Super Bowl contender in just 3 years. Because much like Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, Kyler Murray helped turn a franchise around. And because of that, he is worthy of a big-time contract extension. Because in the NFL, if you know you got your guy, lock him up. Seal the deal. Because if the Cardinals didn't, there would be 20 teams knocking at their door trying to take Kyler Murray away from Arizona. And if you are worried about whether or not he can win a Super Bowl, Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo got to a Super Bowl. So if those guys can get to one, Kyler Murray certainly can win one. So the Cardinals have painted Kyler Murray in a negative light, but it's totally hypocritical. Whether Kyler is a finger pointer or not, the Cardinals pointed their own finger by leaking that report to the media. And I think they need to look at the finger they are pointing back at themselves, because they are blaming Kyler Murray for a Kliff Kingsbury problem. The fact that they melt down at the end of the year. The Cardinals label Kyler Murray as selfish, but if I was him, I'd want a contract extension too. And I think the Cardinals should give it to him.